Hi. Hello. Boy, oh boy, do I have a treat today. We're going to be going over my 2024 journal entries from the races. Let's go. The first time I mentioned F1 was on 6/29. Gio has gotten me into F1 racing. Don't know how we ended up here, but now I'm making stickers for our cars and waiting on a Mad Max shirt. Max Verstappen. He's my favorite with a heart. And I drew a car. That's a pretty good picture of the car, especially for someone that knows nothing about F1 at that point. 7-4. Okay, so that last race went bad. Which race? Let's see, which one was it? I guess we'll find out later because my Wi-Fi isn't gonna work up here. So that last race went bad. Lando Norris tried to pass Max. Max defended too much and both ended up with a punctured tire. Max got a 10-second penalty and still finished 5th. He even accidentally left on the pit lane limiter. He's crumbling a little under pressure. Lando retired from the race. Gio and I just stared in disbelief. I hope Max and Lando will be friends again. See the next time I mentioned F1. Well, first of all, it's got this in there, which is my drawing of Hugh Laurie. I slowed down a speed drawing and followed along, and that's him. Anyway, I said, Rush finished this drawing of Hugh Laurie. He looks like Lincoln. That's all. That was my whole entry for July 15th. 7/21. Today was the Hungarian Grand Prix. My goodness. Max was in a mood and at one point hit Lewis. Sounds like he punched him. Sounds like he walked up and was just... Ugh. He was being so rude on radio that eventually even his engineer told him he was being childish. Not true. He was saying that arguing with the other teams or something along those lines would have been childish. You're stupid. Come on, get it together. You've been a fan for 2 months. Get on with it. Lando and Oscar were in front. Lando was 6 seconds ahead, but for some reason, oh my gosh. I wrote it. I wrote history down in this book. Oh, papaya rules! Lando and Oscar were in front. Lando was 6 seconds ahead, but for some reason, McLaren wanted him to give it to Piastri. They begged on radio for a long time before he did. Oscar Piastri won for the first time at a Grand Prix. Strategy was super weird because Lando is closer to Max in point. Don't know why they insisted on getting Piastri the points. Also, Max finished 5th. I have to include wherever Max finished there. That's so funny. Even a person who barely knew about F1 at the time, I was aware that that was a weird call. What were they doing? 7:30. Yesterday was the Belgian Grand Prix. Spa! With 4 A's. I got my nephew into F1 and it was his first race that we watched together. With a heart. That is a fond memory. That was a good day. I suggested the Mercedes team because it has teal, his favorite color. Naturally, they won a 1-2 for the first time since 2021. Which was perfect for him. However, winner George Russell was disqualified for his car being 1.5 kilograms underweight. This moved everyone else up a spot. Of course, had to include Max, in parentheses, Max 4th. Had to break the news to my nephew. He wasn't happy. That was an unfortunate day. We skip ahead. August 25th, we were supposed to go to the Dutch Grand Prix watch party at my college, but we missed it. We watched here instead. Good decision. Lando got first at Max's home race, Max's 200th Grand Prix. He ended it with Simply Lovely, Max's tagline. That got under my skin, man. Oh, I was so mad that day. A dumb thing to be mad about, but I hate when he does it. September 8th, went to watch Monza Grand Prix last week with my college, and Max suffered, man. Kimi Antonelli will be with Mercedes next year. I said it all excited like I knew who he was. I saw him in a practice. That's it. Charles won, Oscar 2nd, Lando 3rd. McLaren boys were pouty. I guess I was starting to shift my preferences really for the teams by this point. Also on the 21st, I'm going to see a Red Bull car. Later on, I kind of skipped a lot here, but sometime in November I put, also yes, I saw that Red Bull car a couple months ago and fell in love. We also went a couple weeks later to do a pit stop challenge in Maryland. I think my pit stop was about 23 seconds, which I think was phenomenal. 11:14. Tomorrow, I'm waking up at 5 a.m. to buy tickets for an F1 event. That F1 event was F175 at the O2. 11:17. So, I didn't get the tickets for the official site, but I did get resales for the back of the stadium. However, even though these resales send me to AXS, an official seller, F1 warned people not to buy resales, and I saw that after I had purchased the resale. So I should have known better, but I was blinded by the need to go to this. So who knows if they're valid at all? Awesome. 11:24. Max Verstappen, you are the world champion! The world champion! Max won the championship in Las Vegas. I stayed up way too late to watch and have been feeling so sick all day. And I was. It was very ill. Okay. December 3rd, Qatar was on Sunday, 12-1. Max won. He's fighting with George now. Divas. Almost done with the semester finally. Also, I sold those London ticks. Remember last year when Daniel Ricciardo was in New York with his Enchante pop-up shop? And there were videos of people meeting him in said pop-up shop. And now I'm not close to New York, but I am in driving distance. If you consider driving distance like 4 to 6 hours. 12:22. 1 week ago, drove up to New York with Gio to see Daniel Ricciardo's pop-up Enchante shop. It was fun, but no Daniel. We saw security standing outside the place. We were trying to look in the window. I was like, I don't see Daniel, but I'm sure he's somewhere in the back, right? We circled that block for, I think, about 20 minutes before we found a good spot. I was very excited. I brought bracelets. I made bracelets for Daniel. I should have known better by the lack of anyone else outside besides one security guy. So we went in, and it was a pretty big spot. But as we moved throughout the store, our hope died a little more and a little more because Daniel wasn't in any corner. And I think the workers kind of saw that. They didn't say anything, but, you know, it was obvious why we were there. It looked pretty obvious. We didn't buy anything. So then we went to the 9/11 reflecting pools, and we went home. So that is some F1 entries from my journal. I guess I gotta film 2. Okay, that's all. It's because I'm filming for 1 and 2. Okay, that's all. Alright, that's 2 days of ideas down. Oh! What am I gonna do next? I don't know, man.